Hello, RPA pioneers and practitioners. How's everybody doing? I love the energy after lunch. Thank you. So the reason I'm so excited and passionate about my role and what I do right now is to see the immediate gratifications among my peers. How quickly we are transforming the way people work, collaborate, and connect. And I think this is going to be something big. A decade from now, when we look back, I think we're a big part of something big of transforming the way we run our businesses and empower our people to do what they do best: create, think, and ideate. If you remember, when I was earlier with Param, I worked for Nielsen. And Nielsen, for those who don't know, is one of the largest data companies in the world. Data is our business. But the way we bring our products to our customers, it's not just platform or capabilities. First, we're putting the personas who are using our data, whether it's a brand manager in a manufacturing company, whether it's a network executive in a media company. They all have to make decisions. And the way we try to innovate and bring technology to life so they can make those decisions faster, smarter, that drive bigger business results for them. So while we continue to do that type of innovations, one thing that we are forgetting and overlooking, and that is the biggest asset that our company has. And I'm sure if you think about it, that's the biggest that every single company in this room has, and that's its people and employees. As we bring new technology to the market, we scale and we always compete with time to market. And as the time goes by, we have some legacy systems, we have new systems, but at the end of the day, people are left to hold these fragmented processes together. So as we scale, what we're seeing is that it always takes us more people to bring on new clients, and we want to change that paradigm. And the way we can do this, the only logical thing as part of the broader digital transformation strategy is with the help of RPA. And I'm going to take you on this journey. Today, 2.5 years into this, I think we are a successful and mature center of excellence. We've achieved great results. We have over 350,000 hours of manual work automated. We have 180 or so robots up and running in our productions, delivering data to our clients. We've evangelized and delivered this capability to more than 30 business functions. We were born in our business operations, but since then, we've scaled to our IT shared services, finance. We've also working with client service and even HR. So it is truly your front office, your back office, everybody can benefit from the results. And what I'd like to do, and the takeaway from this session, is that I'm going to share with you our learnings, our challenges, our failures. So hopefully, if you're early on your journey, or even more mature, that you don't have to repeat those. So let's travel together through time. I'm going to take you back to 2016, okay? This is where we first got acquainted with the buzzword of RPA, and very little company was just entering the marketplace, UiPath. I think there are probably more people in this room right now than there were employees at the UiPath, and I'm very happy that we picked the right partner to go on this journey with us. So once we've selected the tool, the premise is that it will help democratize automation and make it available for everybody. So our CoE at that time consisted literally of 3 people. We decided to go with a decentralized model where we install the infrastructure, we give the studios and educations to our people closer to the business, and we felt like if you teach somebody, if you give somebody a fish, you'll feed them for 1 day. If you teach somebody to fish, they will feed themselves for a lifetime. So that was the whole concept of our journey and enabling this type of capability and giving it to the people. So as we sold the idea to our top leadership, to our middle line management, and to the people, we sent the message and we communicated differently with everybody. But at the end of the day, the company, to improve their margins, has really two options. One is increase revenue, and two, optimize. And we felt that RPA will give us a big leverage to help us drive our optimizations and modernization of our operational business units. As we spread the message, to my surprise, we've had an exceptional people raising their hand and say, I want to sign up for RPA Academy, I want to take foundational training, and I want to become an RPA champion. And in a matter of few months, we've recruited 70 people across different business functions, across different countries within the globe. They took the training, and off they went. Our idea pipeline was growing, and we were happy, and we thought that we're going to get the tangible results in a matter of few months. But this is kind of where our first mistake occurred. As we looked at the progress and the time that people were spending, we did not see any tangible results. We discovered quickly that at the early stages, it does require a special skills to develop, because it's always easy to click a record button and document your happy path and build that automation. But what happens when it becomes more complex? When do you have to deal with business exceptions? What happens when you have to deal with maybe a machine learning? People were finding that a little bit frustrating and also challenging to proceed. Second of all, we did not ask our functional leaders to nominate and make full-time employees to drive that automations. They still had their full-time jobs. Okay? So at the first sight of challenges, people, almost like a new shiny toy, they tried it out, it's not working out, they put it on the shelf. And finally, one of the key observations that we've made is that even though IT and security were our partners in helping us assess and select the vendor, they were part of this journey, but we also found out that they needed to become and come along on this journey to help solve a couple of things. One, when you hire a new person, just to create a LAN ID, it's probably very simple. You submit a help desk request, maybe you provide some mandatory fields, but what happens when you're requesting an ID for the robot? Some of the mandatory fields probably don't exist. So those simple things created challenges and friction and frustrations among our community. Second of all, our goal was, early on, is to build robots. What we did not think about is what happens when the robots are up, running, and functional. Because what we learned is trust, sustainability, and continuity are as important as your people who are driving the ideas. So we had to work with IT partners to think about things like infrastructure, disaster recovery. We had to work with our security and finance people on things like audit trail for SOX compliance or PII data. So we had to think and shake out those details early on. So as we learned about these types of motives, we decided to change our model and move from the decentralized model to a hybrid model to truly build a triangle that connects our community of champions, our technology partners, and CoE. We've hired full-time experts with a lot of experience in UiPath and automation, and we asked them to do two things. One, take on the more complex projects and own the development end to end. Two, build the framework and become mentors to our community, because we still felt that supporting and nurturing that community will pay off in the long term. And also, we've worked out these differences with IT. So instead of every single champion randomly knocking on IT's door, we literally spent 3 months discussing and working out the details. We've asked UiPath to actually help us become more mature and think how we build the disaster recovery in our data center. Think about how we build roles and security profiles, how we build risk profiles, audit trail for our finance processes. So as we did all of this, we've became more enabled and allowed our community to grow. Furthermore, we decided to look at the skill challenge as well. And what we asked our community to do is switch roles. For those with more technical aptitude, we asked them to continue to be RPA developers. For those with less, we asked them to become RPA business analysts, where they would still provide the domain expertise of their subject matter, and our CoE will help them. We established the thresholds that any project more than 2,000 hours of savings a year will be picked up and done by our CoE. Everything less, we would ask our champions to do at their own pace. Okay? So, once we resolved all of this, we thought, off we go. We are going to finally see the ROI and tangible results of our journey. Well, this is where the real gut check came in. As we saw our ideation pipeline continue to grow, we saw very slow conversion of projects. And what we found out that the issue was very simple. We had the wrong conversations. When we started to approach middle management of committing their resources to become subject matter experts and to drive those projects, we were expressing our metrics in dollars first. And psychologically, when you approach another business function as a shared service organization, the question becomes, well, who takes the credit for this, for the savings? Are you the CoE or am I as a business? Are you going to hold me accountable for productivity for this target? And ultimately, what we realized is that this is counterproductive because our goal is to automate anywhere. We as a shared service don't really care about the ROI. Even though we still do business case by business case, what we decided to do is just simply switch our main KPI from dollars to hours. And we decided, you know what, let us build the trust and accountability so you can actually see the tangible result within your business units. And we're going to leave the productivity claim to the line managers. You guys decide what you feel is right. Because at the end of the day, each and every one of them has that goal cascaded down from the top. So as soon as we change that paradigm, it's almost like the switch went off. All of those projects that were sitting in the pipeline and ideation all of a sudden started to move forward. And with the help of our passionate, smart CoE resources, we were turning around every single project from the point that the requirements were finalized. Average time to turn a project of medium complexity was anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks, which gives me great pleasure. I've been in IT for many, many years. Sometimes those projects can last 1, 2, or more years. So as we started to continue and evolving, we saw exponential success. Because as soon as the people saw tangible results of what the robots can do, they started to share those ideas with each other. So one operational unit in Poland shared an idea with an operational unit in Mexico. And as I mentioned, it all started when people saw that the robot can do a simple thing, but that thing occurs hundreds and thousands of times. They saw the potential. And today, we are not going only after the rule-based projects. We are becoming more advanced in teaching the robots new skills. We are trying to build capabilities such as natural language understanding, image recognition, and also voice activation. We are building this capability across many functions around the world. And also, we're earning trust. Trust that once we deploy the robots, that they will work. We've even implemented and we're treating each and single robot just like an IT asset, but with a much lighter governance. Because we want to operate as a startup, always. We don't want to be burdened by traditional CAB change requests where in order to promote a feature, you have to wait 2 weeks to do something. That's not going to fly with automations because the business depends. Just like you teach your people new skills when there's a change in the system, you have to maintain that responsibility when the robots are live. So we have to teach the robots new skills if there's a change in the process, change in applications. So we've worked out a capability within ServiceNow, and I'm sure many companies use that to manage their IT processes, so that we can report incidents, we can track change requests for every single robot that runs in production. And I'm proud to say that looking back, 350,000 annually, we've had very few issues. And whenever there's an outage, we separate the types of issues. One, there's a business exception. So business exceptions, since you're managing the digital worker, you as a line owner, as a subject matter expert, you have to handle this. Just to give you an example, if the robot is expecting a file to come in at 5 o'clock on Saturday, that file does not come in, the robot doesn't know what to do. That's a business exception. If it was a human, somebody would have to pick up a phone and do something about it, right? So we have to teach the robot to communicate with people to do that and escalate these types of business exceptions. That stays with the business. However, if there is a system change and the robot fails because it cannot recognize the login window, or the field all of a sudden is maybe in a different place, or even if there's a disaster recovery, that's when the CoE steps in and monitors and gets alerted anytime that thing happens. So it's important when you are on your journey to think about not how to build the robots, but how to keep them up and running successfully in your production environment. Because if you break that trust, all the credibility that you build over time will evaporate. So, very important takeaway. So in conclusion, if there's anything that you want to take out from my presentations from our 2.5-year journey to how we got to this point, are a couple of things. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Communicate at all levels with your executive sponsors, with your midline managers, and with your community. Grow the community of your champions, grow the community of your developers, subject matter experts, and now we are operate in a more or less federated model where each business function has their own program leader that helps us kind of coalesce and drive that demand and brings those ideas to us. Our CoE is engaged and drives the feasibility, and when we have something to celebrate, I don't take the credit for it, my CoE does not take the credit, our business takes the credit, because ultimately those robots are working for them. So we want to make sure when we celebrate, we recognize their willingness to work and drive through that transformation with us. Second, I've talked about trust. Think about the robots and the life that they have after they move into production, because just like everything else, nothing constant. The systems that they serve, the processes that they operate will change. So be proactive in how you want to track those changes, and also be transparent in your metrics and KPIs, depending on how many exceptions and how many incidents you encounter. Talk to your community and don't make the dollars the main driving force, because it can also lend you to the strategy of picking the wrong projects early on in your journey. We made that mistake. We went for the shiny project that was about $1 million in savings. We were not ready. Even with a professional service helping us, we failed. So we had to step back and say, you know what? Let's figure out what we're capable of doing based on the maturity curve that we are on, and don't always go for the largest opportunity out there. And finally, build a triangle and the hybrid model that will allow you to connect your technology partners, your business partners, and your center of excellence. So hopefully this has been very valuable to you. I wish you good luck on your journeys, and I think looking back a decade from now, I think we will look and say we were part of something great. Thank you, guys.